get set, where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying?
And while they were here, they always wore masks.
Let me tell you the story of a story. Once upon a time in the 21st century, before COVID-19 rocked the world and the martial arts in particular, I got invited to go to a seminar, a karate seminar. So when I went there, I don't think I wore my black belt. I'm not sure if I did or not. I don't think I did. But I got invited to go to a seminar because a friend of mine who was training at that school, he's got a rank in Tang Sudo. And a lot of Tang Sudo, if you don't know, that's Korean karate. So a lot of Tang Sudo forms are pretty much Korean versions of the Okinawan karate forms. So Tang Sudo people can train with Okinawan karate people just fine. And ITF Taekwondo people can also train with Okinawan karate people just fine. Just remember, don't do your sine wave. But anyway, so I went to the seminar and I'm enjoying it after, bowed in and met the head instructor for the seminar. And another guy comes up and does a presentation. He is an instructor of the sword, and he starts talking about different angles and directions of sword cuts. Now, it's too bad I don't remember his name so that naysayers and doubters could go and verify what I'm saying is true. But I do not remember his name. I do believe he taught out of New York. My friend knows his name, but I'm not going to call my friend up to verify this story within a story. So anyway, he said that even though he has never used these sword cuts in a real fight, someone came to the community center class that he taught and wanted to learn how to use the sword and how to use swords fights and do these angles and directions. So fine. If you know anything about, I don't know a lot about sword fighting, so please forgive my ignorance here. But I do know that it's very important for you to do the drill and do the sword cuts exactly like they tell you, because it's supposed to be handling common attacks and directions that would occur during the days of the samurai. So fine. So we went through the cuts, and it turns out that he said that someone came to his community center class, spent a month vigorously practicing the sword cuts, right? Paid attention to him about angle, direction, technique, and everything. The man trained with him for maybe a month or two, and then he didn't see him for a long, long time. When he finally ran into the man, according to this sword teacher, he said that man, it turns out, was involved in a blade challenge. I believe it was actually with machetes. He had challenged another person to fight with machetes in a duel that I believe was supposed to be to the death. Now, I'm assuming this is true. This story of a story could be made up. But he said that all he did was show him what he knew how to do with the machete. With the sword. So this person knew machete but didn't know sword. He took what he learned about sword fighting and applied it to the machete fighting. And so this was supposed to be a real machete fight. And this was unbeknownst to that particular instructor. Okay. So that instructor had never actually cut anyone before. But he showed what he knew to someone who had cut people before. And that person who had cut people before was able to take that knowledge from a traditional martial art, actually apply it to more of a quote-unquote modern setting, or a real setting, a live setting, and he was able to defeat his opponent. And I asked him how much details he got. He said he didn't really want to know at that point. But his point of sharing that story with us at the seminar was that, yeah, even though he's never used this stuff before, he actually trained someone who did use it, and it saved that man's life. So the point of this story, within a story, is to debunk the idea that if an instructor has never been in a real fight, or they've never used whatever weapon that they're instructing, for real. And we're especially talking about people who come from a traditional martial arts background, specifically talking about people who come from a punch kick background or who come from a punch kick background with weapons. Anything that's not quote unquote grappling, or MMA, right? If they've never been in a real fight before, they still may know of a concept, a technique, a movement that you could use if you've been in a real fight before or you're going to get into a real fight that could improve you. So it's not necessary for your instructor to have beaten up 300 people by ripping their hearts out of their chests in order to be able to teach you how to duck when somebody throws a haymaker and shove the guy by the hips on the ground, or duck and kick him in the shin so that he hops away in pain. If someone knows something that is of use to you and they can share that with you, if they know something you don't and you learn that from them, that person has something to teach you. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people that talk about the martial arts in peace. And as always, thank you for your time.